Here we got an update on the Escape from Tarkov roadmap. I don't know how many of you guys play Escape from Tarkov, but I wanted to check this out and see what they're talking about here for that. Because I know I wanted to try out Arena here soon, and they're going to be bringing that eventually if they haven't already. I don't know, it's been a minute since I played Tarkov.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of changes. Well, not changes, but a roadmap that Tarkov put out for the changes that they're planning on doing. That's looking like we don't know when, but at least we know like what stages they're looking at, I guess. We've got the following. Update 13.0.5. Fixes for visual problems with flashlights, the way they function in the light on weapons. Sky on all locations, so new skybox. Oculus audio tweaks on interchange and lighthouse, so we know that...
Oh, yeah, are they adding VR for Tarkov?
Those are the ones that are...
Has anybody confirmed that?
Kind of like left where we don't have the binaural.
I mean, obviously it says right here.
Supposed to be in or as good as they are, but most of the directional audio I think works at this point. Changes in the headset system, so that part is interesting. I'm not sure exactly what they're getting at with this, but I guess we'll see what they do with it. Maybe that's with the radios in game because they wanted in-game VoIP to be able to set a channel like for headsets so that you could talk to each other over VoIP at a distance. Changes in the AI voice line playback system, in particular their frequency, volume, and positioning. Fixes incorrect sound and volume of gunshots and explosions at short distances. So this is something I talked about in the audio video that I did when I was talking about like...
This is good as long as they're like, yeah, they're fixing audio stuff here. That's good. Audio is a huge role, and especially survival games like this one. You want to know exactly where somebody is at all times if they're like coming around the corner or something. No audio on that. I mean, come on, we've all been there. Where's the audio, right?
How much work they had in front of them. One of the issues that they had was how the affecting of the audio, the filters that they put on the audio, that's the sounds that are being made at distances and where those thresholds are. Incorrect movement of bots in the prone position. That's interesting too. Bots going prone and then moving weird. Then a transition to Unity 2021. New technologies aimed at optimizing graphics, HDR, reducing memory consumption, and optimizing memory usage. In this, 2021 is supposed to have like better netcode stuff like functionally in Unity 2, so hopefully that will change some of the
that's
netcode problems. And then 13.1.0, so I'm gonna guess this,
so they're updating the engine as well.
For a technical update will probably be somewhere in like mid-May. Unity 2021 might be like June-ish, and then this will be maybe like late June would be my guess, and then this will be July. So the Streets of Tarkov expansion and all that will probably be like a July patch, would be like mid-July would be my guess, but who knows.
Streets of Tarkov.
Fundamental changes to the architecture, display synchronization of players on the client and their connection to the server, increasing the number of players and bots in a raid up to 60. So I don't think that this is going to be more players, but it probably will be more bot counts. With the size of the maps that we have right now, more players would feel really congested. I think for max player count, if they were full, the lobbies feel pretty populated as it is. They don't really feel dead if you have like an actual full lobby. Improving hit reg, increase in accuracy of positioning.
Yeah, these are all good things that we're seeing with the updates.
Players on the server and the client. Increase in FPS and online raids, reducing the chance of encountering desync with a server. Network traffic optimization. Yeah, so this is supposed to be like with 2021, with the networking changes that are supposed to be able to be possible with this version of the engine. This all makes sense. New culling system on old locations. So this is what they were talking about with Streets, where Streets has like the implementation of the new culling system. He talked about this in the last podcast and how this is going to be retrofitted to like all the older
culling is very important for optimization in any video game, no matter how big it is, honestly. That can save you a lot of RAM.
Older maps. RAM consumption optimization and elimination of possible memory leaks. Optimized rendering system for semi-transparent materials. So that's also interesting because he talked about like glass and how that is a functional problem for like frame rate when glass is breaking, and not just making sure that everybody has glass breaking at the same time, but this kind of stuff where you have translucent material. Even glass isn't like completely transparent. At least most of it is. Like on Streets, some of the glass panes animations aren't really there, and they kind of break and they don't really have any animating, but I guess they'll get to that at some point. And then point 14, content update. So this will end up being a wipe for sure. That'll end up, I'm gonna say, mid-July. Streets of Tarkov expansion, the BTR.
Okay, so we're probably gonna see the new content in mid-July, according to One Peg here.
Being added, so this would expand Streets into 2 of what I'm going to assume.
That's not too far away. What is it? It's getting ready to be May, June, July. What you're gonna see, like 2.5 months?
Assume is 4 modules. The BTR on Streets, a new boss, which will, I'm gonna guess, be located at the car dealership because that's supposed to be Scav HQ. Vaulting is gonna be added. Armored plates for body armor and the rework of hitboxes. So this is gonna be like, that's gonna be massive. That right there, armored plates and the hitbox rework, if we're gonna actually get that for this content patch, that will change the entire game. Because if you're hitting people in like the armpits from the side and stuff, that's gonna, like, if you're slipping rounds past armor plates, they're really going to have to make sure that the hit registration is right. Because if it isn't, this will ruin the entire game for everyone.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to get that right with the hit registration before they. I think that's why they put it over in the content update. Otherwise, they probably would have put it in the update 13.1, honestly, with the armored plates. But they probably want to test it out in 13.1 when they push that update out with the armored plates, and then before they release it with the new updated registration hits.
Armor will be completely worthless, or it's going to be amazing. Kit presets. So we saw the preset system. That looked really cool. Weapon animations when interacting with cover. We saw that too with blind fire and how they changed the animations. Shoulder swapping. So that's new. Shoulder swapping is fucking huge.
Yeah, I've never had shoulder swapping.
Randomized loot containers. We saw that already. That was the teaser where they're moving the boxes around. Rework of recoil mechanics of all weapon types. So that's actually super easy to explain. The way that the animating of the guns work right now in the game is as if you're holding a pistol. So when you're holding a pistol in your hands and you fire, the pistol recoil goes back into your wrist and your hand snaps back, right? That's what you're fighting constantly when you're doing a push pull. You're trying to keep it from snapping back like this because the hinge for a pistol is on your wrist, right? That's what rifles do. So if this is a rifle body and this is the back of the stock, it's still hinging where your hand is and the gun is flipping up like this when you fire instead of recoiling the way it's supposed to, where the entire body of the gun would come up at once on your shoulder.
This is stuff that's needed done for a long time. I'm glad they're finally getting around to it, though.
With your shoulder being the pivot point, not your hand. And that's like something that we've been pointing out for a long time. There's been videos on it. It's a whole thing. Hopefully they get that one right. They said that they're going to rework this, and I believe them. I mean, it's just they have to reanimate everything that isn't a pistol. Quick pistol transition, so they're going to have faster swapping from rifle to a pistol. I'm going to assume this is like when it doesn't jam, because if you have a weapon malfunction and you switch to a pistol, it works great. But other than that, it's slow as shit. Suppressor durability, sound variation, subsonic ammunition. We saw that too. Ammunition loading interface. That's also interesting. Sight brightness adjustments. I wonder if this means that they're going to make multiple levels of brightness so that you can actually like.
That's what I was thinking.
Levels on some of the hollows and stuff that have like EOTech red dots have like, I don't know, 20 brightness settings. User interface rework, so that's interesting too, the UI being changed. Quest rebalancing, so I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll see. Rebalance of level skills and mastering. My guess is this means when they talk about this stuff, they're probably talking about slowing the game down. Bipods and stabilizing firearms with cover. So they're actually going to be adding bracing and animating setting up bipods. That'll be insane. Dude, this is, if they do all of this, this is like big ball stuff. Like, that's a lot of work. This is going to be a huge content patch. Choosing which body part to heal via hotkey. So this is kind of similar to if you hold down R and use the mouse wheel, you can select like which magazine you want. So my guess would be is that on the healing portion of it, there's going to be an option to be able to hold down the button for a heal and then maybe use the mouse wheel to scroll through like which body part you're going to heal, which would be fine. That should be implemented pretty easily, I would think. Helmet flashlight mounting. So we already have mount points. This is already something that's kind of buggy that people can do or could do. I don't know if they patched it out. I think it's still something that you can do on certain helmets. Meds and food consumption upon double click. So that's interesting too. So you can double click meds and food. Like these seem like they're pretty readily like done. Like that.
Yeah, I feel like some of the animations kind of hold you up when you're trying to do multiple things at once. So I'm glad they're reworking that.
The addition of the AK-12, PKM, RPD, SVT-40, 9A91, the UBGL for a SCAR, and then we saw, like, you know, all of the other like little content things they've been teasing. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, they teased the PKM a long time ago. My guess is that the PKM will likely end up being the weapon of choice for the scav boss on streets. That's going to be my guess. Because they had a long time ago teased a scav boss that had like head-to-toe armoring with a backpack belt mag feeding into a PKM a long time ago. That it was like gray boxed out, and he looked mean as shit. And my guess is that's who he's going to be adding for streets. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ambition on that timeline for a content update if all of those things that they are putting in are coming before it. And we are 4 months into a wipe. As of tomorrow, we will be 4 months in, because it was December 29th, right? 28th, 29th. So we're 4 months into a wipe on a 6-month cycle. That means that we're looking at June. Like, I look at this as like, if they're doing 2 tech patches and then a content update by the 6-month mark, you're looking at like July. I think they'd go like 6 months and a couple of weeks, like mid-July, somewhere around there. We'd probably see the content patch. But if they're saying that they're going to do 2 tech patches that are going to include bot counts and population of maps, plus audio tweaks on the maps and Unity 2021, that's a lot between now and 2 months from now. That's a lot. But I mean, shit, if they can pull it off. That being said, I don't know what they have in the pipeline.
I'm guessing, like, yeah, if they can pull it off, that's cool, but I'm guessing some of it will probably get pushed back. I mean, you're more than likely going to run into some problems here and there, or just maybe need more patching and updating afterwards. I'm not completely sure. I do know with like game development stuff though that there's usually always a problem.
Between now and like June, July, for a wipe of the game other than just boredom to warrant doing a wipe, because they need a content update of some kind in order to justify it. Like, every time that they've done a wipe, there's always been a map modification. They've always, even if it's just like an expansion to an existing map, there's always been something that changed with the map. All they have to work with right now for like a major map change is the streets expansion. So other than that, they'd just be wiping for the sake of wiping so that they could get the populations back. But I don't see anything that's going to be like super enticing to want to bring people to come and play. This doesn't have a date on it, so I'm just speculating based on 5+ years of history with the company playing this game, and then them putting out stuff like this saying that they're going to release some things. This is the only content stuff like map wise that they have to put out. They don't have anything else that they've been teasing, so it's literally just the streets map and like fix.
When's Arena coming though? I thought we talked about Arena on the last update video. I might have to go back and look at that.
Netcode, cheaters, you know, that kind of thing. But I mean, like, we need the quality of life stuff. We obviously need the netcode improvements. We very much need like the hit registration stuff. All of that is super necessary and things that we've needed repaired for a very long time. I just don't see a reason to wipe the game until the content update is ready. And I don't know if 2 months from now is going to be enough of a time frame for them to actually have that thing done. Especially considering that they're planning on having a new boss, the BTR, what looks like a huge change in like almost all of the animations for the game, and an entire expansion to streets. I mean, that is wildly ambitious. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would rather not see the game wipe and them just deal with the fact that the populations are going to be low for a little while until that is like really ready, and then push it. But that also means that we're not going to see a 1.0 release by the end of the year either. And
I can't really comment on that because I don't know much about it.
1.0 release by the end of last year, and that obviously didn't happen. So I don't see a 1.0 release by the end of this year at all. So yeah, anyway, that looks like the changes that we've got. Pretty cool. I hope that they can pull this stuff off. I wonder by when they're going to have it pulled off, but if they can have it ready in time, they're looking at probably like 2 to 2.5 months. That'd be my guess. I think this wipe cycle is going to be a little bit longer than what we've seen in the last couple of years. I think you're probably looking at like a 6.5 month-ish, maybe 7-month wipe cycle would be kind of where I'm leaning on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited for that. I think it's going to be great content. They're doing a lot of great things for the game, and I guess we'll see where it goes and how far it gets pushed out before they run into some problems. Hey guys, if you like the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.